How's it going, guys? This is Holly with Grindworx, and today we are going to talk about 5 Karambit knives under $100. Karambit knives are a really unique design that started in Southeast Asia. These knives were originally designed to be agricultural implements. This hawkbill blade makes them very good for, cutting grasses and other plant material. So they started out that way. They ended up kind of evolving into a combat tool, which is what some people still use them for today. I'm not into that. But what I have seen is that Karambit knives have kind of taken on a little bit of the balisong persona. So because of this ring that you can hook around either your pinky or your forefinger, depending on how you're holding it, you can flip the karambit around your hands and do really cool tricks, similar to how you would do with a balisong, or at least visually it has, a similar effect. Not something I've done, and I would probably be terrified to, because that is one wicked looking blade coming at you, but it is something really cool. So if that's something you think you'd be interested in, definitely check that out. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, where people demonstrate those tricks. So far, the most that I know, this is forward position and this is reverse position. That is all I know. So from there, you would kind of spin the knife around, have it do things like that. I'm not actually going to try it because I would, harm myself. I don't want to do that. So without further ado, let's check out the actual knife selections we've got here. This right here, as you can see, is from Schrade. This is just a basic Karambit fixed blade knife. Runs right around $20. It's 6.5 inches long total with a 3-inch blade. All of these are going to have, obviously, a hawkbill blade. This one is a solid piece of 9CR13 MOV steel. It has a hollow grind on the blade and an overall gray finish. 2.23 ounces, so very lightweight. I would imagine that makes it good for doing karambit tricks and flips. But again, I'm not an expert, so those of you who have experience with karambit knives and flipping karambit knives, I'd love to hear from you in the comments what your thoughts are on these knives. It also comes with this polymer sheath, which has a ball chain on it. There's also some paracord that comes with this, so if you would like to wrap that skeletonized handle, give it some extra grip, you can. Personally, I like how compact this is. I like how minimalist it is. It's very simple, very clean. And one of the perks of karambits generally, is that they're truly ambidextrous. So you can use them with either hand, don't matter. And this one in particular is a good price. So if you're looking to start a karambit collection or, get into karambit flipping, I imagine that this could be a really good entry-level knife for you. Next up, this is a Karambit OTF, the 102 model. Right around $40 on the site right now. 8.25 inches long overall with a 2.875 inch blade. Now I'm already going to eat my words because that is not a hawkbill blade. So technically, would you call this a karambit? No, but it is an OTF that's in a karambit style. So if you like the karambit styling, but you're not necessarily looking for a true karambit and you just want something cool, I would recommend this. Right around $40. We've got a 2-tone dagger blade with a flat grind, an aluminum handle with this simulated carbon fiber inlay on both sides. 7.32 ounces, so fairly hefty. And then it does have a tip-down deep carry pocket clip with this really interesting sort of hex wrench shape on the end there. It does come with a nylon belt sheath, the kind that just completely encloses your knife, clips in, and Velcros to your belt. If I'm being completely honest, I would say this is completely impractical as a karambit. I can't really see you flipping this around doing tricks. I mean, the ring is there, so possibly you could try, but it's just kind of bulky, heavy. It's definitely meant to just be kind of cool and something kind of different that you aren't going to see most of the time out there. And honestly, I think it's freaking cool and I get a laugh out of it. And in the end, I mean, can still cut things with it. Next up, we have another Schrade. Schrade actually has quite a few selections when it comes to karambit knives. This is the Schrade G10 folding karambit. It's $22.99 on the site currently. It's 7.75 inches long overall with a 3.25 inch blade. Again, this is 9CR 18 MOV steel. This one also has a hollow grind and a nice black finish. Opens with thumb studs on both sides. So another fairly ambidextrous knife. I'm not sure how a liner lock works when you're left-handed. We've got G10 handle scales over stainless liners. This one's 6.19 ounces. So another fairly hefty one. We have a reversible deep carry pocket clip. On this one, I really like the combination of, a primitive Karambit design with modern features. So, it folds up, which is convenient because you still can pack a pretty large knife into a more compact package. I like the texture and the grippiness of the G10. Really locks your grip in there well. It is a little bit big for me, like to stick my finger in the finger ring there. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It spreads my fingers out a little too much. So I'm not entirely sure how well that would work for me, but just holding it with a standard grip, it's actually quite comfortable. It's got great ergos. I also like that it's relatively slender, given its size. The width of that handle is not too bad, and I like the open construction. Great for maintenance and keeping it clean. Then again, when it's folded up, that is taking up some space, So if you compare those, I'm not sure which is going to be easier to fit into your pocket. But overall, I like the design. I like that it's a really decent price. Too large for me, but for somebody else with much larger hands, I bet this would be absolutely perfect. So next up, we have a really cool one. This is the Steel Tiger Karambit from Cold Steel. $42.99 on the site right now. 9 inches overall, so getting into pretty big sizes here. 4 3/4 inch blade. So the proportion of blade to handle is pretty high. This is Oz 8A steel with a flat grind and a stonewash finish. We've got a polymer handle, which has a very rubbery texture to it. Very grippy. 5.4 ounces. So, shaving some weight off there, which I imagine is going to help if you want to flip this. And it does come with a Kydex sheath, which has a belt clip on it there. And it does fit in there very well. Feels very secure when it's in there. I really like this one. Despite, its large size, it fits my hand very well. It doesn't feel like it's too big or it's trying to fit my fingers into a configuration that just, doesn't work for my hand. And who does not love a beautiful stonewash? I think that blade is absolutely gorgeous. So I honestly don't know how it would be as a flipper. Most of the knives I've seen out there that people are flipping with are more in this size range, but I really don't know. But overall, it sure does seem like a nice quality knife. So big fan of that design. Lastly, we have the Duhawk. This is from CRKT. This one is just under $83. So the highest priced one on the table, but you're getting a heck of a lot for your money. First of all, this thing is over 9.5 inches long, so it's massive. It's got a 5-inch blade. This is SK5 carbon steel with a pretty rugged black finish on there. I find it very interesting that part of it is sharpened almost like a dagger. I've never seen that on a Karambit blade before. And it's got a pretty good swedge here to kind of help balance the weight, because that's a pretty big blade. We've got fairly chunky G10 handle scales here that have been milled out to give you some good grip and texture. 9.3 ounces, so this is a hefty knife. And this is a GRN sheath, but it's very sturdy. It feels very high quality and fits very snugly. Especially right out of the box, you really do need to give it a good firm tug to get it out of the sheath. So definitely massive, definitely tactical, built like an absolute freaking tank. So, and surprisingly, despite, the smaller size of my hand, it's fairly comfortable to grip if I'm not using the finger ring. So I do not see you flipping this one, but It's one of those knives I can almost see it being an interesting like survival knife even. Just because it's so big and hefty. And the curve of that blade, I feel like it's going to be something that you could use for a few different implements if you needed to. And look at the thickness on that thing. So if I had to pick a favorite, I don't think it's going to be any surprise. It's got to be this cold steel. I just feel like the balance of the weight, the size of it, the ergonomics of the handle, it's very comfortable. I think this is a really good design right here. And if I were ever to get into karambits, that would probably be the one that I would go to. After that, definitely go for this very simple, minimalistic Schrade. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, especially those of you who know more about karambits than I do, which is going to be a lot of you, because these are very new to me. But I think they're really cool knives. I love the idea of something that's been around for a long time kind of being repurposed in a new way and sort of having some interesting modern takes on it. So definitely drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when a new video drops. I'll have links to these knives in the description below. And as always, jump on Grindworx. We've got a whole page that's dedicated just to karambit knives. So definitely jump on the site and check out what we've got going on there. If you join the email list, then every time we have a new video, a new knife, a sale, anything cool going on that you wouldn't want to miss, it's going to come straight to your inbox. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.